You're good to go.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everybody to tonight's regular meeting of the Bethel Board of Finance. This Tuesday, March 9th. I call to order the meeting and ask you to begin with me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. There we go.
There we go.
Pledge allegiance
To the
to the
flag
flag
of
of the
the
United
United
States
States of America
America,
and to the republic for
which
which
it
it stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
and
and
justice for all. Thank you. First, agenda item, beyond any.
No correspondence or public comments.
No public input, no members of the public. No correspondence. Let's go to the approval of minutes. As the minutes have been distributed for a while, I'll assume that folks have had an opportunity to read them. So we'll just go down each meeting one at a time. So I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
so moved.
Well, I think we have to do it one.
Oh, okay.
I think we may have to do it at least one at a time for a couple of these
All right.
absences. So let's start with the special meeting of February 9th. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
You got a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next, we have the minutes from the joint special meeting of February 9th. Entertain a motion to accept these. Nick, did you make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, cool. A second.
Second.
All righty. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All righty, halfway through. For the minutes now of the joint special meeting, February 11th. Entertain a motion to accept as submitted.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And then two more, okay. Minutes on the special joint meeting of February 16th. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Second, okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, and last, minutes of the special joint meeting from February 18th. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as submitted.
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
All righty, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, good deal. Thank you very much. We'll go through the administrative part. Next on the agenda is the consideration of the purchase of a 2022 Peterbilt Model 348 from Capital Non-Recurring. Turn the floor over to Matt and to Bob Dibble.
All right, thank you, everybody. Good evening. Last evening, the Board of Selectmen approved a purchase of the chassis of the aforementioned Peterbilt vehicle, a Peterbilt Model 348. This will be to replace one of our 1995 aging plow trucks, which is out of parts and running day to day on its last legs. So we decided to make this purchase now so that Mr. Dibble and his highway crew would have this replacement truck by the next season. The chassis and drivetrain should be ready by end of July, first part of August. Then it goes for outfitting. So the number you have before you tonight is just for the chassis and drivetrain, not the outfitting. Last night we approved an amount not to exceed $102,858. And then when the vehicle comes in and goes to the outfitter for the body and for all the hydraulics and all that stuff, then the rest of the funds will be requested at that time when we have a tight quote that you can rely on. So that is the request from the Board of Selectmen. And if you have any questions, Mr. Dibble is here with us and the floor is open.
Questions for Matt and or Bob?
refresh me on the total cost again.
The amount approved last evening was for the chassis and drivetrain. That's 102,858. The expected cost when fully outfitted is 178,258. But again, we don't have the ads with a tight number at this point. That's an estimate, but it's probably pretty reliable. But we're just looking for approval for the chassis purchase tonight.
So we're guessing 77,000 for the outfitting.
Approximately, yeah.
Okay.
Bob, I'd make a motion that we accept the purchase price of $102,858 to buy the new Freightliner chassis for the town of Bethel.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? No.
I do just one thing. I think this is great that you guys set this up, and I don't know how long ago it was that we can actually buy stuff like this instead of short-term bonding. So I'm not a big spender, but if we can buy something, and I did talk to Bob Dibble this afternoon about his needs of this, and I think the town needs it. We need to keep up on these. After this one, I think he's in pretty good shape of his primary trucks. So I do support this.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Unanimous. All right, Matt, Bob, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Last item on the agenda for tonight is the comptroller's report. So to you, Bob Kay.
Okay, we sent out the controllers report yesterday. It has the revenue and the expenses. Just want to talk about the revenue a little bit before we get into the expenses. Nothing really surprising. Our property tax collections to date, or to February 28th, for this year is 78.94%. Last year at the same time, it was at 77.64. So we're 1.3% ahead of last year's numbers. We actually are a little bit higher than that because Wells Fargo made their April payments for the taxes. It was prepaid. It actually brings it to 80.82, but we subtracted that out to come down to the 78.94. Prior year revenue that's been collected, we budgeted 400,000. We've already collected 475,000. That's at 118.8%. Just talking about leases and permits, building and zoning, 350 was budgeted. We're at 369 right now. Penalties and interest, we budget 202. We're at 226, 586. Those are the good news items. The bad news is the interest continues to be really low. We're at about 51,000 so far this year, and we budgeted 500,000. So there's no way we're going to make that up in the next 4 months. And Park and Rec is around right now about $110,000 in revenue compared to 640, but essentially most of the programs haven't been operational. Going into expenses, it's just the usual ones. Everything looks okay, but I just want to talk about two big accounts. Legal, we're at on the legal expenses. The total number so far is where did I get that sheet? I'm looking at my analysis sheet, but is year-to-date expended 235, 165. We have 16,000 left because it was budgeted at 251. We're going to exceed that. The amounts that are in there is Barclay Damon. That's one of the attorneys that we use. We had an engineer in for the gun range, the interior of the gun range. That was $6,000. Cohen and Wolf, that's doing the work on Eversource. That's 27,000. Jackson and Lewis, which is our negotiating attorney, is at 6,900 so far. Marty's at 37,000. That's the excess over the monthly retainer. Murtha Kalina, which is the Berkshire Hathaway court case, we're at 35,000 in expenses. And Pullman and Conley, another attorney that we use, is at $6,500. That adds up to 161 out of the 182. And I'm sure we're gonna, see some more bills in there. That's why I said I think we're gonna far exceed the budget amount of 251. The other account that I wanted to talk about was Park and Rec. Park and Rec right now is at the big item in there that's questionable is the programs. We had budgeted about 600,000 in program costs. Right now we have 182,000. But just a quick breakdown on that 182, there's salaries in there for 110, and that's the salaries that we have for the kids during the summertime and some of them that are cleaning the building, touch surfaces, and also for the greeters up front for programs. We have about 56,000 in program costs, and there was a tennis class course that was going on, the theater for 31,000, and then other programs for 15,000. There was COVID expenses in her expenses of 7,400. And then also with one of the trucks that we just got recently, we had to outfit it for $3,364. So that's the makeup of the 182. Outside of that, the other expense accounts are pretty much in line. There's nothing, probate, like I always say, looks like it's a negative number, but we get reimbursed from the other 4 towns. Insurance is pretty much on the mark, town insurance. And the rest are, I don't see any major problems in the expense categories. And revenue, like I said, is doing pretty well. Just a couple of things to follow up on that. Interest rates is still pretty low. Newtown just did an $8.7 million borrowing. They're AAA like we are, and they got 1.57. Last year in July, we got 1.52. And they also received an $830,000 premium. So hopefully the rates continue to be where they are. And when we go out in July, we'll be in good shape to take advantage of the low rates for the bond, the $20 million bond that's coming up. Outside of that, I think that's about it.
Bob, how much was that premium again?
$830,750 they received.
That's pretty good.
Bob, I'm sorry, Robert, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bob, you talked about the Park and Rec, and it was quick, but the new truck we bought, there was a fit up for it for
I just
30.
got lights on it. They went to utility, what's the name of the company? It's the same company that does the outfitting at Utility Communications. So they might have been putting radios in there or whatever,
But it was 3,000 and they took the
363.71. Yep.
and the money, because we approved the truck, but we didn't approve that. So they had the money in their operating budget for that,
Well, they took it out of the program cost. Yeah.
out of the program cost.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Bob Kay? Nick, you want to give us your motion?
I'd make a motion that we accept Bob Kay's report.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That brings us to the end of the agenda.
Bob, can I just ask one thing? In the Park and Rec, we vote on the line items for that. How do they take 3,100 and buy equipment with it if it's in their program money?
There's a lot of there's supplies in that program cost. She does budget, not just programs, but she budgets a lot of different items. And this year being the COVID year, she had COVID expenses in there as well. So, I mean, that's
It
what
just
we
seems like it would be in their maintenance or their equipment repairs or something, not in a program. It stuck out to me, that's all.
did. Okay.
You saying they always do that?
Well, I mean, this is unusual. I really haven't seen them spend that much money on communications, utility communications. We do with the paramedic vehicles, we do with the police cars, they send them down there. And maybe there was something else that was being, I didn't get a chance to ask it today, but maybe there was that represents, even though it's the same company, maybe they were doing something else to the truck.
But it was a pickup, right? Oh, F-150?
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? If not, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Robert, you motion?
Robert's on it. We got a second.
A second.
All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned for this evening. And let's get the word out. Public hearing, Monday, March 22nd.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye-bye now.
All right.